Fusion 360 is a CAD software that allows you to design ideas you have or follow other people's designs. And in our case, the final product was a 3D printout of our design. So we started the semester by learning the features and tools of Fusion 360 and used this to create a paperclip, a Lego piece, a beer bottle, and a whiskey bottle. These projects were pretty basic. We followed videos on YouTube, so it was not really anything on our own. However, our main project for the whole semester was to come up with an idea that we would design on our own. So the idea I came up with was a card holder with a money clip incorporated onto the back. At the time when we were choosing our projects, my wallet had just broken, and I'd always wanted to purchase a money clip. So I thought, just for fun, I would design a combination of both of them by myself. So the 3D printer allowed us to print out and bring our designs to life. And there were two 3D printers. One would print our objects in green, and the one I liked more and I thought was higher quality was the one that actually printed it in black. So the dimensions of my first printout, my design, were too small, which made the wallet too thin, and therefore the printing, the 3D printing did not work how I expected it to, and it was yeah, it was just too thin, so I had to redo it. So my second design had some holes in it because it was still too thin, and I was having trouble trying to figure out the proper dimensions and the proper width and length. But I was finally able to come up with the proper solution in my third design. So here's my final design that I decided to print on the green printer. I added lamp, just kind of a nickname for fun, just to put on the front. And as you can see by me turning it around, it was not too thin anymore, so the dimensions were finally perfect. After ensuring that my dimensions were correct, I was able to print onto the higher quality black material, and yeah, on my fourth try I was finally able to get it right. After we created our product, it was time to create a box to put the product in. So Mr. Dubard asked that we research pizza boxes, which was actually quite an interesting assignment because I never realized how much design really goes into creating a pizza box. And once I saw how to fold a pizza box, I started on making my own design in Fusion 360, which, as you can see, uh, looks pretty complicated. However, we were able to use a tool called parameters to simplify everything, and parameters allowed us to create a name for a dimension and then just type in the name instead of having to keep track of all sorts of numbers. So yeah, one name would account for example, 2 meters or 2 millimeters, and you just type in the name and your dimension would automatically go to 2 millimeters. So my first design of a box came out decently. Um, However, it could definitely be improved upon, which I did with my second version. And after that, I was pretty comfortable with what I needed to do to create a final product. So I made one that would fit my object. As you can see, um, the second box, or the box to the left, is a lot bigger than my first two boxes because it was able to fit my entire card holder in it. So here's a time lapse of me folding the box I had made in Fusion 360, and this was necessary because we couldn't do the folds um, in the actual software, so we would have to print it flat, but know exactly where we'd want to fold because it was very important that the folds would stay in place, of course. So I used the ruler to ensure it was crisp. So my next step was to create some artwork for my box, and to do this we used a software called CryCut, and through the software we could put text and clip art onto the box. And yeah, as you can see, my artwork came out pretty nicely. There was a problem where the sides were actually upside down, so I had to redo that flip them. But yeah, afterwards it came out in a very nice manner, and it looked pretty professional. So once I put everything into the CryCut software and had the text and artwork that I wanted, I loaded the paper precisely, and prepared it to go into the machine, which was a machine that used a pen to make the text and the artwork very precise, and also had a cutter that would combine the artwork and the cut of the box. And it was a very cool machine, fun to use. And after it had finished, we would then peel it off, which was very satisfying. All the machines and techniques we used required us to be on point and methodical with how we did everything. So as you can see, I'm peeling this off very carefully, making sure that all the edges are intact so that the folds would not get messed up at all. It was all about being, just very precise. So this video is me actually connecting the CryCut software, hooking it up to the machine, and preparing it by attaching all of the artwork uh, onto the canvas. And yeah, pretty much just preparing it for the process that you just saw. By pressing that button right there, starts everything, and the paper I just loaded is ready to then move in, and the pen is activated and it's off. So the next thing for me to do was to make a piece that went on the inside of my box, and uh, helped with the packaging of my object, to make sure that it wasn't moving around in the box. And now my card holder specifically didn't really move around because I used really solid dimensions. About 2 millimeters larger than my card holder was my box. So I used a friend's design and decided to make an inside piece for that object. So on Fusion 360 I created a rectangle a little bit smaller than my box so it would fit, and then in the center created a circle that would house the object. And then I used some techniques, including the things you see on the side and the holes in the middle, along with making the bottom cut out, as you can see, a large part. Firstly, to save on material, and second, just for design intent. So we used a machine that would take the 3D printout of our inside piece and turn into a flexible material by putting a white sheet that was heated onto it, as you can see in the video right there. And this was actually so cool to see in person, that it just turned into what is being shown in the pictures, and it was definitely my favorite machine to witness. This was pretty much the final piece of my project, and it was very cool seeing everything come together and combine. The box, the artwork, and this inside part, and it was just very satisfying after months of work to see it all come together. So yeah, this is a culmination of several months of work, and even when it comes to learning the software, it goes back all the way to August, and it was a lot of trial and error, experimentation, just hard work and problem solving to make it all come together. I'm very happy with how my work came out. I exceeded my own expectations, and learned a lot more than I ever thought I could, um, about Fusion 360, about CryCut, about all these machines that we were fortunate enough to use.